The time is 22 minutes to midday. You're very welcome back into the programme. Rory on the radio with you until midday. Collie McFadging is here. We're going to talk all things movies. And I'm delighted to say he's in studio with me this morning. Collie, good morning.
Good morning, Rory. It's the most Rory intro. And I'm a little worried. Do you know when you're a small child and your parents be going, no, we're not putting up the decorations yet. Christmas isn't here yet. Yeah. You have to calm down. You can't get too excited until a couple of weeks. We still have 2 weeks to go to Ghostbusters, Rory. Okay, you can't peak too early.
No, this is our last. This is our last meeting before. Yeah. So
I have a feeling.
I feel justified.
I feel there'll be a lot of text in between times. Have you seen it? Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? Can I come and see it? But yes, it's 2 weeks. It's not. It's less than 2 weeks. It's 13 days. It's 13 days.
13 days.
Yeah,
right,
there you go. Till the new Ghostbusters. And I don't know about you. You're always excited about them. I think you enjoyed the last one a little bit more than I did.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was about it. But there seems to be a vibe of last one was kind of to re-establish the franchise, as it were.
It's sort of a steady the ship.
Yeah, steady the ship.
Effort, yeah.
Introduce younger kids, maybe to give them a couple of young kids to look at, as well as bring the old people back. But this one, they seem to be really believing in. This is the one that's going to bring Ghostbusters into the 2020s. Yeah. As we're looking at the ads and looking at all the materials that Sony are sending out, it seems that they're pretty confident that this is a good one they've got. You just get that impression.
Yeah, you do get that vibe, and there's no real secrecy. I mean, remember with Afterlife back in 2020 or whenever it was supposed to be 2020 and ended up in 2021, but there was lots of secrecy around the original, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Will they, won't they? Will they appear, won't they appear? If they do appear, will they play a big role or a small role, or will it just be a cameo? There doesn't seem to be any secrecy around this one, judging by the trailers.
No, absolutely.
They're in it. They're playing a big part.
The real Ghostbusters there. You would wonder how split up it's going to be, but they're certainly doing all the the press seems to be as much them. The effects do look good, and it looks like kind of a new scary moment. And they're back in New York too, which I think works too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I understood why they did it the way they did it the last time, but now you go. Now this is what I'm talking about, and hopefully we can put a few of the other things, particularly Ghostbusters 2, out of our mind.
Don't be too hard on Ghostbusters.
Aside from the song. Aside from the Jackie Wilson song and the Statue of Liberty dancing, I see you're only a young fella. You see,
Thank you.
I went. You're talking all about the confirmations at the moment. Ghostbusters was a movie I went to around for with my confirmation money.
Ghostbusters 2 or
no, Ghostbusters?
Oh, the original.
I'm very old. I'm very old. So I had a couple of years to look forward to Ghostbusters 2. Hence the disappointment. It's like the fourth Indiana Jones movie that we don't really mention very often. Yeah. It's all about the run-up. I had a load of time.
Well, you know what happened there, don't you? You had the original Ghostbusters, which wasn't really for kids.
No, not at all.
It wasn't really for kids.
It's still quite rude.
Yeah, exactly. Even by today's standards, it's quite rude. But then you had the cartoon. And in the intervening years, you had the cartoon, and all of a sudden it became something for kids. So by the time the studio got their hands on all of the original cast and managed to coax them back, they had to do something for the younger audience.
Yeah, and
it might have lost a little bit of...
Yeah, and it was neither fish nor fowl. Even if they totally embraced the younger audience, it could have worked. But it was trying to kind of keep everyone happy.
It did lose a bit of its edginess.
Yeah. I also forget the first one. I know you're a mega fan, but, Bill Murray's behaviour isn't great. It's not. I thought it was charming as well, and you go, that's not it's not great. I was watching it relatively recently, about a year ago, and I was going, I don't think you'd talk to a potential customer like that anymore. Or certainly they wouldn't stay a potential customer. And
no, definitely not. There'd be a review on Trustpilot like that.
Absolutely. But it is where that is actually the movie my lifelong love of Sigourney Weaver began. So, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't changed at all. So that's coming. That's just coming right and bang on time. The first day of the Easter holidays, basically school holidays. I think it's going to be. I'm confident about it. I think it'll be great fun, and I think, as you said, they've got the mix right. It feels of the old nostalgia.
Yeah.
And a new young cast with the guy from Stranger Things, with the cute little sister. and the right breed of monsters. They're saying as well, it is a bit scary, which is not a problem. Kids like to be scared. Look at your classic Disneys. Scary is not a problem. You have to be appropriately scary. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of the problems with a couple of movies we had lately, like Five Nights at Freddy, and I'll get murdered for saying this, Imaginary, is that they're aiming at 15-year-olds, but it's on the scary level for 12-year-olds, and it's a balance thing. Whereas a good scary 12-year-old, kids love it. Kids love those sort of things. So more power to it. I hope next time we're talking, you're going to say, I went to see it, Collie, and I loved it.
Well, I hope so too.
Right.
I hope so too. So that is out March 22nd.
Yeah.
Hitting theatres. All right, that's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Right, let's talk. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a very quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk Dune 2.
Yeah, because I'll waffle on about this one for ages.
I'll let you waffle away. We'll talk after this.
Rory, Farell, Saturday morning, going back in time. Highland Radio.
Yes, it's Saturday Morning Rewind. It's 14 minutes to midday. We are talking all things movies, and Collie McFadden is in studio with me to do just that. And we've just been talking Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That hits theatres March 22nd. A big release that's in theatres now, Dune 2.
Yes, on the weekend of the Oscars, here's my prediction. 2025, best movie of the year, Dune 2.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
Yes, and there's this Kevin Costner big epic coming out in the summer, may or may not get in the way. Now, in the way you're a fanboy for Ghostbusters, I was about the first Dune movie, even though my Dublin accent means I can't say it quite properly. I always say June, and people go, oh, it's one about the summer, is it? But anyway, I was a firm believer. As a kid, I was mad into Star Wars, and as I got older, a couple of friends went, oh, you have to read these books. This is where they got all the ideas from, except it's kind of for grown-ups. And I read it, and I liked it, but I was kind of a bit lost. And I'm pretty sure I saw the 1980s mess of an original movie at half of it. Maybe
It's
after
sort of got a little bit of sort of cult.
Yeah, it has now, because Sting's running around in his underpants, and there's loads of...
It's up there with sort of Star Beast, that sort of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, so when this one came around, I was really interested, because the director, Denis Villeneuve, he did Blade Runner 2049, but particularly he did Arrival, which I thought was one of the best movies of that year, with Amy Adams, because it was a grown-up...
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
And again,
underrated as well.
Yeah. And it uses sci-fi, but it's not really about the sci-fi. There's aliens in it, but it's not about the aliens.
It's a bit like, we were actually having this discussion last night. It was Arrival, District 9, all that sort of,
They just use the sci-fi as a device to talk about things that are happening now. And this movie is very much the same. Now, Dune blew me away. I absolutely adored it. Have you seen the first one?
No. Tried it, gave up.
I can understand how. My sister is the same. And it does take a while to get into. I think in the cinema really does make a difference, because you've kind of said, well, I'm here now anyway.
Yeah.
As opposed to Netflix, but also it's the visuals and the sound. But I absolutely adored it, and even though I'd seen it twice in the cinema, I watched it again the other day before I watched this, and I watched this at 8 a.m. This movie was not designed to be watched at 8 a.m. But I went to watch. So I'd watched almost 3 hours of it the night before, watching the first one. I
think that was one of the things that put me off.
Yeah, the length of it.
I went in under duress because I was like 2 hours and 45 or whatever.
I can understand why. You're wrong, but I can understand why. And then I watched the next one, and I just done 6 hours in it, and all I could think of afterwards is, I want more. I want to go back to this world. It's such a beautiful looking movie. It's amazing looking. The big screens, you're going, this must be CGI. I know there aren't giant sandworms. Not one bit of it looks like CGI. They've obviously used a lot of real effects, if you know what I mean. They've been in the desert. The acting is top notch from all the cast, and you're watching this guy who's become, he starts off as this like privileged prince who kind of becomes this underground warrior, and you go, this is Willy Wonka that I watched a couple of months ago. It's like a different actor. Zendaya is amazing as his sort of link to these people. But what I really liked about it is it's for grown-ups. So it's not, as much as I love Luke Skywalker, it's not just Luke Skywalker coming and saving the day. You're going, is this guy good? Giving him all this power, what's going to happen? And not everything goes the way it would in a superhero story. The Austin Butler, who's unrecognisable. We last saw him as Elvis, right? And he's this bold, evil guy. It's actually the character Sting played. And he just resonates malevolence all the way through it. It's spectacular. There's a fight on this other planet where it's like a negative of it's all black and white, and it's just spectacular.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. And one of the things, and I won't keep on going on about it because it's not for everyone, is that they don't explain everything to you. You walk away going, I think that's why that happened, but I'm not sure.
You're walking away with questions.
With questions and different interpretations. We could watch it together and we walk away and go, well, that's why he did that. And I go, well, did he do that or was he made do that?
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant movie.
Some people would say that's not a good thing.
I know.
I came away with more questions when I went down. Others will say, well, that's really good because it's open to, as you say, it's open to interpretation.
And Christopher Nolan's movies, particularly things like Tenet and
not Tenet. Don't say Tenet.
The Leonardo DiCaprio one the name escapes me at the moment, about the dreams with Cillian Murphy.
Not Insomnia. Oh, I look it up. I'll have to go.
Yes, that's the one I meant with the spinning top at the end. Why can't it? It just escapes me at the moment. It begins with an IN. I know that.
No, keep talking.
Anyway, it's like that. So it won't be for everyone, but I think it's brilliant. I really would say, even though you didn't like the first one, if you get a chance, Rory, I think with you and with your sci-fi background, I really think if you saw it on the big screen and the biggest screen you can, and the Hans Zimmer sound in it.
Yeah.
Is just like it is at times not so much music as noise. I had some of the most impressive things I've ever seen in the cinema.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. Now, another movie that I know you saw.
Inception.
Thank God for that. I thought it was
we
good.
Can sleep
if
tonight.
I had any hair, I would have had it pulled out. Another movie I know you saw, which is the opposite of it, because Wicked Little Letters is fine on screen because it's all about the actors and the writing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and it's such the approach to it and the story. It's a true story, which I was fascinated by, and there's probably a little bit of social commentary going on there. Huge
amount,
it's about a spinster. Were you allowed to say spinster?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Still lives at home with her parents.
Yep.
She's in her mid to late 40s, and she starts getting these letters. But the letters, contain profanity and obscenities, but it's very childish profanity.
Yeah, it's like a child's idea of what grown-ups swear. If I was allowed to say any swear words, I would swear all those.
It's if your parents told you off, and you went to your room and throwing a strop and you decided
big
to write
stinker
them a letter.
sort of thing with swear words in it too. And the blame falls on Jessie Buckley, who I've always loved ever since I saw Wild Rose. You know. And the only problem with this movie is they don't get her to sing. Anytime.
Oh, she does a bit of singing.
Yeah,
in the
but she does a bit of singing, but they don't get her to do a song, if you know what I mean. And she just look at it and goes, I'm Irish. I just swear whenever I want. And
I don't need to put it in a letter.
As a man who moved to Donegal, I'm very aware of this. This is certainly the case. And it's just great fun. And I was delighted you liked it so much, because I think we mentioned it last time that the reviews were weird, that nearly all the women who reviewed it really liked it, and a lot of the men didn't. And I think they were looking to see it as a mystery and a whodunit, where it's really more about the interaction between Olivia Colman and Jessica.
For a whodunit, I mean, within about 20 minutes,
I thought so too. Yeah,
it's screaming at you who's actually responsible.
Yeah,
but because of the approach, it's approached like a black comedy. Now you scratch away the surface, there are some darker elements, with the family dynamic and things like that. There's a lot of darker elements to it. But, on the surface, it's funny, it's witty, it's charming.
Yeah.
But I just think, the whole concept that a whole village starts getting these obscene letters and the utter scandal. Yeah. And, fast forward 70, 80 years to, modern times, and it's a daily occurrence on social media.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
It's basically Twitter, yeah. But
and we've seen cases of similar stuff of people getting sued by famous celebrities and go, but you're famous. It doesn't matter what I sent you from my anonymous account. People go, no, they're still real people. It's the same thing. This behaviour, maybe Twitter and Instagram have made it easier. This behaviour was always there in us. Isn't it mad?
Yeah, but they just used whatever medium was available.
Charles Dickens famously used to get horrendous amounts of anonymous hate mail.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. And it's interesting too. What I found out was the attitudes, towards the woman police officer. And she must be referred to as woman police officer.
And that's a bit that I knew was based on a true story, and I went, oh yeah, but the chances of the first ever female police officer being involved in this, and I googled it afterwards, went, absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
We're only allowed handcuffs at the discretion of the superintendent.
Madness. I think people will love it, and I think, you know, for as much as I love Dune, as much as you love Ghostbusters, and that sort of thing, people who that sort of movie just doesn't appeal to, I think they could really like
This is
Wicked
an
Little Letters.
ideal movie, you know, you're at a loose end on a Sunday, you know.
Mother's Day,
get in the car.
bring your mother.
Exactly.
She knows those words. I know she pretends she doesn't. She does. She does, and she enjoys. And she knew them before you were around as well.
And use them quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe about you sometimes.
So look, quite a bit on offer there. I mean, we have obviously Ghostbusters, Dune 2 on the way, Wicked Little Letters still there.
Yeah,
We'll be there
still
for much
there.
longer.
I think it's going to hang around for a while because there's not a lot of similar movies out for a while. We're getting all the blockbusters and Easter movies. We've Kung Fu Panda 4 coming out soon, so that'll be for the holidays. So some of the more grown-up movies like Wicked Little Letters will hang around for a while because and people who like those movies, they come on a slower thing. As I said, Mother's Day tomorrow. Oh, can I also mention as well, Mean Girls, Paramount are doing a special thing that all cool moms go free tomorrow to Mean Girls. Now, if you want to tell your mum she's not cool, you're a braver man than me.
Yeah,
but
you're brave or
all
stupid,
the cinemas, I think, are doing it. So it's free entry to all mums. All mums tomorrow. And Mean Girls musical is really good fun. I really enjoyed it. I know you weren't a fan of the original, but you're wrong about that too. So next month, I will let you watch Ghostbusters, but you have to watch Dune and you have to watch Mean Girls.
That's my homework. Okay, we'll do that. That's an agreement. Collie, as always, thanks so much. We will talk to you in April.
See you then.
I know, scary.